Hey y'all, okay, so I am re-uploading the video that I did live the other day. A lot of people couldn't hear the beginning of it, so I hope the volume is better. I'm going over what's going on in Virginia, but the greater aspects of it. How we can look at what's going on there, plus look at what Venezuela has done, who has essentially created a blueprint for us. For those who have not followed my Venezuela information over the last 2 years, put aside anything you've heard from the mainstream media or any other, it's all been BS. And for good reason, because they don't want you to know that you do have the power. If it got out that, oh my gosh, how can such a small country defeat DC, which they have done, because they united. So let's go ahead and get on with this. Okay, woohoo! I made it work. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Oh, it's got a big delay. All right, so I'm sure many of you have heard of the most recent things that went down in Virginia. They are obviously being crazy, but this seems to be a test of, of some sort, and Virginia's being the testing platform. They are, in the most recent thing, let me see. The governor is saying that the sanctuary Second Amendment, it has no legal weight. Okay, well, he could be correct, but I'm not sure what his backup plan is, because he is calling for banning assault-style weapons, which there is no definition for that, and there has been 110. I'm seeing different numbers. 100. I'm seeing 95 counties are saying absolutely not. We're having sanctuary gun sanctuaries, which means that the entire state of Virginia is saying this governor is crazy. So why is he still pushing this? It's very, very strange. That's what makes me believe that this has a lot more to do with a testing of a civil war coming. And I'm going to tell people how they can win this. And it's not just you. Everybody needs to listen to this, because it seems like they're testing the waters to see how much they can get away with. But luckily, we have been blessed to have watched the amazing work that the people of Venezuela have been doing for the last about at least 3 years. And I know some of you that might be new to my Venezuela stuff might be thinking, what? Venezuela? That's crazy. They're socialist. No, they're not. And you can see that they're not socialist in the way that North America sees socialism. But what they did was, in the beginning here, they started their militia. Yes, they have a military as well, but they are a country of about 30 million people. They currently have a standing militia of 3.3 million volunteer members. They don't get paid. They do it for the love of their country. And they're doing this to combat essentially what's going on in Virginia. But this has been going on in Venezuela from outside, though. It's been going on because of DC. The sanctions coming from DC that has, and Saudi Arabia, they crashed the oil market. I'm not going to go through everything that's went on. If you don't know what's going on, you can check out my playlist. But we have watched them over the last few years, and they have essentially made a blueprint for how we can win this. And when I say win this, I mean get out of this R versus D charade and actually stand up as we the people. Not R, D, and then it's not black and white. It's just not. And people need to realize that. And we can see that with the nonsense that we have Republicans siding with. There has been more gun bans with Trump in office than there has ever been. So take that however you will, but people need to realize that the R and the D are working together for probably the globalists. But anyway, let's look at their blueprint, what they have done over the last couple of years. So I know a lot of people feel that militias are just about guns. It's just about, having your guns and being ready for some type of literal civil war. But that's not the case. As we can already see, what this governor is saying to the police officers is that, we'll pull your federal funding if you don't do this. We're going to pull this. They're going to threaten all of these things. That's what's going to scare people. It's not so much going to be the guns. It's going to be the other things like, oh, crap, they're going to stop sending federal food and all of these things. Those are the things that are crucial that you need to, as your militia group, if you are connected with any militia members, share this with them, because this is exactly what they did. They prepared, they trained. That's first and foremost. They are very well trained, okay? And not just in shooting. It's not just about shooting. It's about everything else. The shooting is actually, if you can shoot or whatever, that's literally like the last thing that you should even be concerned about. And that's a good thing, because you can also enlist people that may have a criminal record that can't own guns. That doesn't make them helpless. They can still help in this effort to take back our country. So, what they're doing and what they've been doing is they are growing their own food. They are, helping out with, so many other things. In their case, they are supporting their government. Not so much the Maduro government. They are supporting their constitution. And that's how we need to look at it. We don't need to look at this like as in we are supporting whoever is in the White House or whoever is in the governorship or whatever. We need to look at this as our Constitution, plain and simple. That's another thing. Let me show you this. So I know there was these rumors, or I don't know if he actually said it or whatever. The governor said that he was going to enlist the National Guard to come in and do the work if these sheriff's departments and whatever wouldn't do anything. Well, this is the oath of enlistment. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. First sentence. It's the first thing that you are swearing an oath to. So to even think that the military would have your back on this is just pure insanity. Luckily, we have heard from them and they're saying, no, No, they're not going to help either. But I believe that some people will be able to be easily swayed by other things like, oh, we're going to take your paycheck away, we're going to take this away. And those are the things that you need to be prepared for. They're going to, I don't know how bad this will get, but we always need to be prepared for this. Be prepared for them to say, oh, you're going to lose your job. Oh, if you don't do this, then, like they told the sheriff's department, the police officers, well, you better quit if you don't enforce these. Okay, quit. I'm not saying today. I'm saying be prepared for that. And that, by growing your own food and having like a neighborhood watch type of situation. It's hard, Venezuela's different, but their blueprint will definitely work. So apart from their military type responsibilities, which include training and education, the organization is also carrying out national population and housing censuses, working alongside Productive Workers Council, embarking on a series of agricultural projects, growing fruit and vegetables and all of these things. These are the main things that you need to have. Because if you don't have food and you don't have, some type of structured system, it's going to fall apart. You can all meet at the local gun range and say, we're here. But that's not how it's going to work. You have to see beyond that. And I'm sure many people have, but I don't think a lot of people are seeing that big picture. And you can look exactly to what Venezuela has done, because DC has overthrown essentially every South American, Central American country, as well as many others, but they have not been able to successfully do it in Venezuela. Venezuela has stood up and said, it ain't happening. So they're essentially fighting the same people. They're fighting the corporate DC elite globalist, all of these people. Remember, Venezuela is the only sovereign Christian nation still standing without a Rothschild bank. And all of these other connections, whatever. And so they're saying, no, it's not happening. We will not bow down to your nonsense. They would rather be poor and take care of themselves than bow down and then essentially lose everything. At first it might seem like you're gaining, but you're not. In the end, it would be a slave plantation. But whenever you look at all of this, it's right there. You look, put the nonsense that you've heard from the mainstream media about them being socialists and all this stuff. They have carved out a blueprint for what anybody needs to do when trying to not be overthrown by these crazy sociopaths in DC. It's exactly what they've done, and they've been successful. The main reason they've been successful is, I have to give a lot of credit to, Vladimir Padrino, who is their general of their military, but because he was actually trained here in the U.S., funny enough, with military intelligence and psychological warfare. So he was able to stay a few steps ahead of them. And just recently, Eric Prince had a meeting with the vice president of Venezuela, and they are freaking out about that because essentially their plan was to send in Eric Prince's guys to do the dirty work. And now they're trying to say, oh, we need to punish him for treason and all that. Come on now. Like, really? They've lost so badly in this. But the only reason was because the people of Venezuela stuck together. That doesn't mean every single one of them love Maduro. It does not mean that. It means they don't want their country to be overrun. That's all you need to look at. It's more about their country and their morals and their values and all of these things. So, stop looking to the politicians, because if you haven't noticed, I think they're all drinking or something, because they're not on planet reality with us. They're not. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. And, but seriously, like, this is what needs to be done. You have to make sure that you put all of your ducks in a row. You can't just...
All right, thanks guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope the volume was better on here. I got a lot of comments about the volume was too low, so I wanted to re-upload this. And have a Merry Christmas.
It's me. Oh, okay, good. Oh, thanks, girl. Thank you. Yes, if you would like to help support my channel, please do that. Many of my recent videos have been demonetized, and it's making me a little concerned. I mean, not that I make much on YouTube, but I do a lot of work. But anyway. Well, now I'm like closer to the camera.